Hi friends, welcome back to the kitchen. Welcome if you're new. I'm Cheryl. This is Table Full of Joy. And friends, it is Vlogmas Day 6. And I have got a fun recipe for you guys. We've all had the Zuppa Toscana soup at Olive Garden. It's one of my favorites. I love making it homemade. It's a super classic fall, winter type of dish. But I have a twist on this one for you guys. And this is gonna be perfect for your Christmas Eve family get-togethers. It's a casserole. So I've already got 7 cups of potatoes sliced in my pan. We're gonna add the rest of the ingredients to this. We're gonna make a really quick sauce. It goes in the oven. This can bake and then sit, and it's perfect for all of those holiday get-togethers. I love this dish. So let's get this done. So we've got our 7 cups of sliced potatoes. I've got 1 pound of ground Italian sausage. We went and cooked this up. So we're gonna dump this right over the top of our potatoes. Make sure we get it all over these potatoes. I think this is going to be incredible. I'm excited about this. I've had this on my Pinterest board for several months and been waiting for the right moment to make it. And I thought this would be a perfect time to share this with you guys because Christmas Eve is coming. This would be a great dish to put out for Christmas Eve. Super easy to throw together and everybody is going to love it. We've got some bacon. Of course, the classic Zuppa Toscana soup has ground Italian sausage and bacon in it. So we're gonna put our bacon on top of this. And then I'm gonna give my hands a really quick wash because of all the grease from the sausage and the bacon. But this already smells incredible. All right, we're gonna head over to the stove and we're gonna make our sauce that gets dumped over this. I've got the leftover grease from my sausage and my bacon in my skillet right here. Let's make the sauce that goes on this. Like I said, this goes together super quick. Nothing really hard. If you have a mandolin, you can slice your potatoes a lot faster than I did. I just did not feel like going in my office and looking for my mandolin tonight. So we're not having that. So let's head over to the stove and make our sauce. All right, so I've got my leftover grease from my bacon and sausage. We're gonna stir this around in here. I'm gonna heat this up and I'm gonna just go ahead and throw my onions. I should have done it before, but we're gonna throw onions in here. They can cook just fine with that flour. I am gonna wait to put my garlic in here though. So we're gonna cook this onion and flour in our bacon and sausage grease for just a few minutes. Let those onions start to soften up a little bit. They're gonna finish cooking in the oven with the casserole. You know, I think I'm gonna add a little bit of butter to this because I think butter is gonna add some incredible flavor to this. Add just a little extra layer of richness to our sauce. And I've only got 2 cups of our broth from a carton, so we're gonna use a little bit of our better than bouillon. And if you guys follow me, you know that I love to put this in with my flour and stuff so that it has a chance to kind of toast a little bit. So we're gonna put in about a teaspoon because we're gonna add 2 cups of water to give us our 4 cups of broth. So we'll just kind of mix that around in there, let it toast for just a minute before we add our broth and our water. I'm excited about trying this. Okay, let's put in our 2 cups of broth. Now we're going to put in 2 cups of water. All right, I'm going to pour in a little bit of our heavy cream. But I also need to temper an egg. So I'm going to put my egg in the rest of my heavy cream. And then I'll put a little bit of this sauce in my pitcher so that I can temper this egg before I put it in there because we don't want to scramble the egg. So let's grab our whisk. Scramble this egg really quick into this heavy cream. All right, I'm gonna grab a ladle. So tempering means that you are going to add a little bit of your hot liquid to your egg so that you can slowly bring that egg up to temperature and not have it scramble. So we're gonna put a little bit of this mixture in here, give it a whisk. Add just a little bit more. Then we're gonna give this another whisk really quick. I'm gonna hang on to this spoon because I'm gonna use the spoon to ladle my sauce over my potatoes and stuff. So, all right, we've got our egg tempered. We're gonna slowly whisk this in here. We're gonna add our Parmesan cheese. I am changing this recipe just a tad. So I am using a little bit of my dehydrated garlic instead of fresh garlic or garlic paste. So I'm gonna just put some of this in with our cream. And then to grab my cheese, I've got my Parmesan cheese grated. We're gonna start pouring this in here just a little bit at a time. And the other thing that I'm doing different to this, instead of using garlic paste, I am going to put a little bit of smoked mozzarella on top of this, but I'm not going to do it until just before I pull it out of the oven. This smells incredible already. And I'm not adding any salt because our cheese has quite a bit of salt in it. Hubby will end up putting pepper on his when he eats it. But this looks incredible. Let this thicken up just a tiny bit, and then we're gonna add some kale to this, and then it's gonna go in our casserole dish and ready to go. Mix in some kale into this. It's gonna wilt, and that's exactly what we want. Turn this down a hair. This is what makes the Zuppa Toscana soup, is this kale. So we're just gonna mix in as much of this as we possibly can. I like buying the pre-washed, already chopped kale. I don't like dealing with the stems if I don't have to. Just a hair bit more. This looks amazing. All right, let's head over to the counter and let's get this put on our potatoes, our sausage, and bacon. All right, friends, we've got our potatoes, and we're gonna go really slow adding this because I want this to really seep down into those potatoes and get down in the bottom of this. This is going to be absolutely incredible. I hope my pan's big enough. I am gonna put it on a cookie sheet just in case. But I really wanna give it a chance for it to really seep down into those potatoes and all that sausage. You could, if you wanted to, save a little bit of bacon out and garnish the top with some bacon. Like I said, I'm gonna put some smoked mozzarella on top of this. It doesn't call for that in the recipe, but I think it's going to be incredible, so that's what I'm going to do. But you do whatever you want to. I'm going to kind of pull it away from the pan just a little bit to help kind of get that sauce down in there. This smells amazing. Like I said, I'm just gonna kind of pull it away from the sides, kind of help get some of that sauce down in there with the potatoes. Just kind of moving things around a little bit. If I was doing this, I read the recipe through, and I think if I was doing this my own way, I honestly think that I would layer this. I wouldn't just put all of the sauce up on top. I think I would layer it in the pan so that you end up with some sauce on the bottom. Maybe put some sauce on the very bottom like a lasagna. But, you know, friends, you do. This is the thing, is once you start making a recipe by the way the recipe is written, you get to choose how you do it the next time you make it. So if you make it and you're not really loving how it went together the first time, then by all means change it. Do what you think is going to work for you. Like I said, I'm kind of moving things around a little bit because I want to get some of that sauce down in those potatoes. Definitely don't want dry potatoes. So I'm just going to move things around a little bit, get some sauce down in there, let that sauce seep down in the... I am gonna, like I said, I'm gonna put this on a baking sheet because I think it's pretty full, so. And I followed the recipe exactly for the measurements. So maybe putting this in a little bit bigger of a pan than I did. This is still a 9x13 and that's what it says to use, but you know what? Okay, I think I'm gonna save a little bit of the sauce because I may wanna put some more on the top after it bakes a little bit. So I'm gonna leave the rest of the sauce sitting on the stove. I'm gonna cover this with some foil and put it on a sheet pan just in case it decides to boil over a little bit. I don't wanna clean that up in my oven, so that'll be perfect. I'm gonna cover this with foil. This is gonna bake for about 40 minutes, 45 minutes, something like that. So we'll see you guys when we're ready to pull it out of the oven and put some more sauce and some cheese on it. This has been in the oven for about 45 minutes. I'm gonna pull it out of the oven. We're gonna put some of our smoked mozzarella cheese on it. This is looking and smelling absolutely delicious. Close that oven and keep the heat in there. Let's get some cheese on this. So I'm using the fresh smoked mozzarella. For some reason I'm just really loving that right now. So this is something I am adding to this. The recipe did not call for the smoked mozzarella. Didn't call for any mozzarella, but I'm doing it because I think it's going to be delicious. So I'm doing it anyway. You don't have to do it. Like I said, this is my thing, but if you don't want to do any extra cheese than just the Parmesan that was already in the sauce, then go for it. But I think it needs this extra bit of cheese, and I think I'm just going to go ahead and grate up the rest of it because we still have some blank spots there that need some cheese. So I've got my grater. Let's just grate up the rest of this really quick. This is only going to go in the oven for just another maybe 5 more minutes maybe, and then it's going to be super good. How incredible would this be for your Christmas Eve dinner? Make a big pan of this if you've got a lot of people coming. Make a small pan of this if you've only got a few people coming. Make however much you want. But this would be so cozy and so delicious for all of your friends and family when they come for Christmas Eve. Unless you have a traditional something that you serve for Christmas Eve. We kind of just always did whatever. Christmas Eve this year, it will just be Tony and I. We will be at church part of Christmas Eve, and then we'll be home after that. So it's just going to be us. So I'm going to probably just come up with something really easy and simple that we want to make. Might make this, not really sure yet what we're going to do, but this would be perfect for anybody. This would be incredible. I love this soup. It's one of my absolute favorites to get when we go to Olive Garden, which is not very often. But when we do go to Olive Garden, this is my favorite soup that they have. I make this one all the time in the fall. So when I saw that they had this one in a casserole form, I thought that is something I need to try. I was like, yes, please. All right, we're gonna put this back in the oven for just a few minutes, let that cheese finish melting up, and then it's dinner time. All right, friends, look at that. It smells absolutely incredible. We're gonna go ahead and scoop this up. We're gonna eat dinner. Hubby's not feeling super great still, so we're gonna eat dinner. He's gonna go to bed early tonight. We have church tomorrow. Praying that he gets to make it to church because I need him there, but if he's not feeling well, he'll stay home. We'll make it work. It'll be fine. So let's get this scooped up. Can't wait to taste this. You can see this just looks so beautiful. I can feel the potatoes are cutting, so I think they got done. I'll try not to overflow this on my pan or on my floor. It just looks so incredible. Like I said, it's very similar to that soup that everybody loves from Olive Garden. This is gonna be absolutely incredible. You can see everything, our bacon, our sausage, our kale, potatoes, everything. All right, friends, we're gonna go eat this. Hubby's gonna go to bed, hoping he feels better tomorrow so he doesn't have to miss church. But thank you guys again so much for joining me today for Vlogmas Day 6. We're making it. We're getting it done, friends. So I'm gonna leave the recipe for you guys in the description box for this so you guys can go check it out yourself if you wanna give this a try. I think this would be an incredible thing to feed your friends and family for Christmas Eve. It smells like the holidays to me. I love that Zuppa Toscana smell with all of the sausage and the kale and the potatoes and the bacon and everything. It's just gonna be incredible. Can't wait to go eat this. So I'll leave the link in the description box for the recipe for you guys to check this out. Hope you guys will give it a try. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments, friends, what you guys eat for Christmas Eve. What are your traditions in your family? What do you do? Do you do all appetizers? Do you do a big dinner? What does your Christmas Eve look like in your house? I'll share in the comments what we do, typically for us, but it's usually pretty quiet. But I'd love to hear what you guys do for your Christmas Eve. So share that with me in the comments, friends. If you guys have not yet, please hit that subscribe button. Would love to have you a part of our YouTube family. Hit that notification bell so you're notified when we upload. And friends, we'll talk to you guys in the comments. We'll see you guys tomorrow for Vlogmas Day 7. Have a great day and God bless.